Facebook. Welcome to Dodgers Dawgs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, the Dodgers are 5-0. Oklahoma City is very good. It is a great day to be a Dodger as we bring in Coach Barikoff.
Yeah, it is. I mean, everybody's looking good right now. But 5-0 start for the Dodgers, you can't ask for more than that, right?
No doubt about that. So far, spring training's over in the 5. Let's just take it for the 3 games. We did a show after the first game. Let's actually back up to the last 2 games. Kirby Yates looked great. Yoshinobu Yamamoto looked great. Mookie Betts has the walk-off after losing 15 pounds, has the 2 home runs. Will Smith's hitting over 400 to start the season. The Dodgers are 5-0. Mookie gets 2 days off in a row to let his body recover. Some of your thoughts as to the early baseball.
You know, I think it's just what we thought. I mean, the Dodgers have a potent lineup. Mookie looks good. Freddie looks good. Shohei, I mean, he's Shohei. I like our pitching staff. The bullpen looks solid. You know what I like about it, and I look from it from a manager or coaching perspective, is this team looks totally invested in the team.
They do.
And it's fun to watch. There's something different about the way, I mean, I shouldn't say different because this is how they looked last year, but there's something special about this team, and you could already tell 5 games in. They're totally invested in each other, and that's fun to watch. It doesn't look like anybody's doing their own thing. It looks like a very tight-knit group that is really wanting to win, and I love seeing it.
You know what's amazing about it, and the reason why the Dodgers haven't started 5-0 since 1981 is because you don't just come out of the gate hitting in all cylinders. Yeah. And the Dodgers have not done that by any stretch. They're not necessarily always hitting the ball very well in terms of gathering hits. Now they're hitting a lot of home runs. That's been the difference. And then at times they're not getting good starts. I mean, Blake Snell was kind of all over the place. Roki Sasaki was not good whatsoever. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was I think there's a better version of him out there, although he was good, don't get me wrong. So you're not necessarily gathering a whole lot of hits at times, and then you're not getting obvious all the time great starting pitching. But yet it doesn't matter. It's like this team is able to go, okay, well, we're not doing that well tonight, so to make up for it, we need to do this well. It's like you're not shooting 3, so we need to offensive rebound and put it back in, right?
Yeah, you know, it's what I'm saying. There's something special about the group. I mean, you know, Jack Flaherty had his no hit for 4 or 5 innings, and all of a sudden explode, get 2 runs, a home run. You're right, Roki didn't look great. I'm not concerned. First time at Dodger Stadium. I think there were different nerves for him. I mean, he was in tears almost after. He was so disappointed. Blake Snell, you're correct, was all over the place. But first outing.
Yes.
First outing being a Dodger at Dodger Stadium, there's something to be said about that. But the Dodgers get timely hitting. They get timely runs scored. They lock in when it seems to matter. Not that every bat doesn't matter, but I mean, there's just, I don't know. There's a feeling
there's
about
different
this
at
group,
bats.
right? There's just
there's
a feeling
free throws
about it.
and then there's free throws, right?
Right. It's been fun to watch so far.
Yeah. So let's back up to Roki Sasaki. Obviously, one of the most elite pitch mixes and one of the most elite talents in the game of baseball. He has the best splitter, period. End of discussion. That's not debatable. All you got to do is look at the spin rate. I mean, we can scientifically prove that his splitter is the best splitter metrically. Doesn't mean it's the best splitter in baseball in terms of how it executes in a game or performs in a game, but metrically on a track, man, it's the best splitter in the game of baseball. You and I, though, in our experience of coaching and Coach Holt over the years, we've been saying all offseason, this guy is not Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the sense of being able to come over here and be plug and play. You say it all the time. When you've done something already once, it's a lot easier to do it the second time. This guy is still very inexperienced. The nerves that you're seeing from him that I think squarely are having a big effect on his execution should be predicted. Not only should you not be worried about it, you should have predicted this to happen for him. So how much of this is nerves, do you think, and how much of it is just a transition period?
Well, I love what you touched on. I looked on Baseball Savant. His metrics are super high.
Yes.
He's using a different baseball than what he's accustomed to. I know he's had all spring training, and I get all that, but he's young. He's our number one prospect. I think this is to be expected. Baseball is a different. He's not going to be Fernando Valenzuela. You referenced 81, right? He's not going to be Fernando, where his first 3-4 outings were shutout. It's just not going to happen. Baseball is different now. I think we need to understand he's highly talented. He's very young. He's playing on the best team in baseball, so there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of pressure to go along with that. I think we just need to relax a little bit, understand that he's going to have outings like he had the other day, and let's be patient with him. I'm already seeing people on social media talking about let's send him down to OKC, and I don't know if that'll happen, but let's be patient. He's very young. He's our number one prospect, and he's had a good outing and a not a good outing. So I think we need to just calm ourselves down a little bit and enjoy the ride that it's going to be with this kid.
And realize here's why, if you wanted to, you can keep him with Los Angeles. Even with the start he gave the Dodgers, guess what happened in the game? Who won the game?
Dodgers did.
So the team around him is good enough to overcome any kind of nerves or maybe a bad outing here or there. And then let me ask you this from a coaching perspective. Let's see if I'm a little bit too far out in the weeds here. But like Ryan Pepio, my man, who got the ball opening day for Tampa Bay, I just couldn't. I mean, Dodgers fans wanted to continually think he was a 4 or 5 starter, and he's just not. His stuff is too good. Congratulations to him. The Dodgers won, getting Tyler Glasnow, and then Tampa Bay won, getting both Johnny D and Pepio. That's not what I'm trying to say there. I'm just saying Pepio is very good. So I say that to say he got to make his major league debut in freaking Pittsburgh on a Tuesday. Okay, I mean that's a really big far cry, and I can tell you he was nervous. I mean, he was having a hard time getting his changeup to throw for strikes because, I mean, he's feeling major league nerves, and this is on a rando Tuesday in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So let's put that on steroids and let's say, okay, in front of your home not home crowd, your home country in Japan, and then your home crowd in Los Angeles. So you ramp up the stakes by an infinite amount of times. I mean, am I too far out in the weeds just to say it's a little bit too much to ask a young man?
You've said it all perfectly. One, I watched Pepio's outing, the opening day start. I love that guy. You love him. I watched it. One, pump for him.
How'd he do? I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
He pitched well. He gave up a couple runs. I mean, he looked good. I mean, it was, it's typical first game. I mean, but back to Roki. You're right. I mean, Dodger Stadium, the place is sold out. I mean, let's say the 53,000 people, and you're all expecting typical Dodger fans, and that's why I love being a Dodger fan, but typical Dodger fans, you expect that guy to go out there for 6 innings, 2-hit baseball, maybe 1 run, and 8 Ks. I mean, that's just not realistic. I mean, he's still a very young prospect. And I think we just need to relax. You're right. His first outing was in Japan. I mean, his home country.
Yeah.
And then his second start is in Dodger Stadium against a very good Detroit Tigers team. I mean, I think we sometimes forget. I mean, because we're the Dodgers, but Detroit's really good. And I know they have some injuries, but they're still a good team. It's let's see what happens after 8, 9, 10 starts. And then you can get some real data on the guy and figure him out. He's had 2 starts.
Yeah.
I mean, let's all relax a little bit.
Pressure pack starts.
Yes. I think the one thing that we're looking at is, yes, I mean, he threw 40-something pitches in the first inning and a half. That's tough. And you had to pull him, and he was devastated by that. But let's cool our jets a little bit, Case. You hit the nail on the head. I think unrealistic, yes. Talented, highly talented.
Yeah. So I wanted to mention this. I should have mentioned this at the top, but I wanted to get Coach Barakoff's thoughts right off the bat. Big down the farm tonight. We have all the coverage from AAA Oklahoma City this weekend. I have all of my video from the first workout of AAA Oklahoma City of Haesung Kim and all of that open face batting practice from him fielding ground balls, and then his double and his triple from the other night. I have both hits from Alex Freeland for both sides of the plate. I have a play from him playing third base, which was a big deal. I've got Dalton Rushing's home run. We've got Bobby Miller's big start today. So we have a huge down the farm coming up after we get done with our LA Dodgers segment. with Coach Barikoff here. Hey, I wanted to ask you this from a coach's perspective because, you know, you would know as well as anybody. You've been in positions to win national titles and all those kinds of things. So let's say that you have a team that's not executing in one particular part of the game, and it's just so obvious, like you're 0 for your last 21 from three-point range. So is that a situation like, and I'm saying how the Tigers hit with runners in scoring position. As a manager, is that something that you actually address and go, guys, we got to get better at this, let's keep working on it? Or is that just one of those deals where you go, I don't want it to be any more negative than it already is. I don't even want to put that in their brain, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Which way do you go?
I think it's the first 3 games of the season. I think you kind of just relax a little bit and know, hey, we're a playoff caliber team.
Good point.
We had to go to Dodger Stadium and deal with opening day, the ring ceremony, the raising of the flag, Oral Hershiser, Steve Garvey out there, Manny Mota. I mean, there was a lot to deal with Detroit, which was an unusual thing because if you notice, they weren't on the field at the beginning because of the ceremony. You had to deal with all the pomp and circumstances. I think Detroit is going to say, listen, maybe in 10 games, if we're still doing this, yes, you look at it. But I think after 3 games, you say, let's just get the heck out of Dodger Stadium and let's get back to a regular routine. I think Detroit, I think that was just the Dodgers being the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And I think you know, it's like you with fantasy baseball. Do you freak out after the first 5 games? No, you keep your studs in. You don't replace your studs, you know. Give it 10, 15 games. I think that's where like the real data starts coming in. Is you start seeing the real data of that, but no, not in the first 3 games. I don't think you address it just yet.
You know, you mentioned that offensively, it just seems like the Dodgers know when to lock in. There's different types of at-bats, right? It just seems like the Dodgers pitchers know when to lock in, too. They know when they need to make a big pitch, and they do it.
I mean, look at Vesia.
Yeah.
He didn't look good for like 3 guys, and all of a sudden, you know, strikeout or a pop-up, and he's acting like it's Game 7 of a World Series. And that's why he gets one of the biggest, you know, applauses in Dodger baseball right now. Yeah, the bullpen has been – I think the one exception is Tanner Scott is one.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm worried just yet. He didn't look good in that first outing here, but, I mean, Kirby Yates was out. The Dodger bullpen's been pretty good, right? I mean –
I think you have to worry about Tanner Scott. He's been giving up hard contact for a while now, even going back into spring training. I think there's a long enough period of time where worried's the wrong word, but kind of,
concerned.
I think you need at least get one of those, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be – I kind of thought Roberts was going to go to him maybe last night for just – you know how it is, like get him right back on the mound. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, right,
but
exactly.
That's kind of what I was hoping. But you know what? It's the first 5 games. Let's see what we look like after 15. That's kind of how I look at this. You know, they don't even show like their stats yet. I mean, it's like they still show last year's stats when they come up to bat. I think Dodger fans want to see success so quickly. I'm more patient right now. So I'm going to be the guy to give out the good vibes on Tanner Scott. Tanner's going to be okay.
Yeah. Alex Vesia looked a lot better. I was frustrated with him that first outing. He kept throwing 91 at the belt, and I was like, well, yeah, he gave out. You know, and then that boy, he threw, you said it the best. His first 5 or 6 pitches, you're like, okay, Alex, come on. And then, I mean, like his last 7 or 8 pitches are like, wow, that was pure electricity right there. So super impressed with him. Talking about another lefty, Jack Dreyer's working his way into the trust tree, man. There was no world. I knew Jack Dreyer would make his major league debut this year. And I knew Ben Kasparius would probably break camp with the team. I didn't think there was a world out there that I would never see them one time in Oklahoma City. If those two keep pitching like they are right now, that might happen.
I'm with you. Like, those dudes are just studs.
Yeah.
I love Ben, and you know what? What did he get? The start in Game 4 of the World Series, or came in? Like, I just
nothing bothers him.
By the way, if you're a Dodger fan, you need to watch the documentary on Apple. On the World Series. I mean, if you don't get goosebumps and tears, then you're not a Dodger fan. I've watched it twice now already. But yeah, Ben looks great. Jack Dwyer, like, wow. Like, talk about a guy that understands I'm on a really good team. I just need to make the right throws, the right pitches, and I'm going to stay up here. And to have a good lefty, like, gosh, it's exciting. And I know, Casey, how much you talk about these young guys and how exciting it must be for you to see these guys with success. It's awesome to see these two dudes look like they are really part of this and like really bona fide major league pitchers.
Last time I talked to both Ben and Jack, last thing I said to both of them was, next time we do an interview, which you got to promise me you'll do another one. They both like, oh, yeah, sure. I said, next time and every time we do an interview from here on out, it has to be on Zoom. They said, well, what do you mean? I said, that means we're not doing one in person in Oklahoma City, right? That means we're having to do it with you in L.A. and me back here in Oklahoma. They both giggled to that.
I like it.
Yeah, that's funny. But, hey, Ben Kasparius, 97 miles an hour, Coach. And so, like, Tyler Glasnow is elite because his spin rate's over 2,600. 2,300 is like the cutoff for being really good. Ben Kasparius is throwing 97 with 2,600 spin rate, and that's not his best pitch. His slider has over 3,000 RPMs, and he lands at like 60 to 70% of the time. I mean, you talk about a guy coming out of the pen, able to fire up there 97 with 2,600 spin rate top end. He doesn't sit at 2,600. And then has a centerpiece slider with 3,000 RPMs that he can land just about any time he wants. And then about 2 or 3 times he can flip in a curveball just to steal a strike and to put that in the back of a hitter's mind. That's a 2-pitch, and then on top of that, an occasional 3-pitch mix that can be dominant in short bursts at the major league level. I mean, dominant.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like there's any nervousness or anything. He just goes out there, and he looks like he is totally part of the 26-man roster, and I belong here. And if you're going to send me down, like, he has to look like you're crazy. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on in Oklahoma City. I belong in L.A., and if you're going to send me down, it's because you have to. Like, he's giving no indication that he needs to be going anywhere but staying with L.A., and it's awesome to see. And he just looks the part. I mean, he physically looks the part of a big-time major league guy, and it's awesome to see because it's easy to talk about the high-end guys, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, but Ben Kasparius, man, oh man, he really, it's exciting. I'm so excited for this.
So emotions are great, but over 162, I mean, if you get emotional very often, now you need to from time to time, but if you get emotional very often, you're going to be dead by June. I'm just telling you that because you're going to have so many ups and downs, and you're going to be high and you're going to be low, and then you're just going to be worn out mentally by June. You just can't do it. That's why players are trained to keep an even keel. So just mentally you don't fatigue and wear out. So one thing you hit on it, I think I like the most about Dreyer and Kasparius is they go out there and they dominate 3 hitters, maybe give up a hit and dominate 4 hitters, or like Ben Kasparius, get out of a bases loaded jam and 1 out with no runs scored, and they just walk off the mound like, that's just what I do. I mean, no like rah, no, it's just walk off like that's what they expected. I love that.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't look like, man, if I don't throw this pitch well, I'm going back down. Like they believe like they should be up there. And that's what you need. Like you have all these high-end guys, and then you've got these guys. And these are the guys I talked about the last time you and I were on. Like we talked about Bonda. Like these are the guys you need to solidify a staff that's really going to be good and consistent. And these guys, if they can continue this. Now, I think there's going to be maybe some ups and downs. But them staying consistent is what makes a really good staff and a really good bullpen. And this is awesome to see.
Yeah, I have a question here from Cesare Borgia asking how Haesung Kim is adjusting offensively. He likes that down and in pitch. As long as they start, for right now, as long as they throw it down and in, he kind of has that tilted barrel angle. He's going to be fine. It's too early to tell, but I can tell you this. I said it on my last show. Watching him in person play defense, that dude is legit. I mean, I seriously think that I said it before I saw him in person when I saw him the first time in spring training. If in a year or so the Dodgers just said, you know what, to hell with it, Haesung Kim is our shortstop for the future. And I love Alex Freeland, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have a problem with him either. But from a defensive perspective, that's what I'd give to that because I'm that impressed. So the question, though, is the offensive transition. It's going to be slow. I don't think it's going to be exactly what Dodgers fans want. Pump the brakes on it because the kid's not as strong as he's going to be. He hasn't faced the same competition that the Japanese players have faced. So there's going to be a transition period to where Hae-Sung Kim figures out how to hit pitching at least the AAA level. So I think even if he does start hitting the ball very well, I don't think the Dodgers are going to rush him back to LA. I just don't. I think they're going to give him time to have an extended window to make that transition. Either way.
Casey, exactly. Talking to somebody in the know with Oklahoma City, I think he's going to be with Oklahoma City for a while.
Yes.
And I don't think the Dodgers were expecting anything immediate from him. I think he's one of those future guys. And he's starting to look good at the plate. He got a double the other day or last night or today. Yeah, triple. He looks good. I think it's going to take him an adjustment period. And I think we're excited because of the possibilities, but I think let's be patient. I think he's going to be here in Oklahoma City for a while. And defensively, I don't think that is the issue at all. I think defensively, I mean, he could step in Game 7 and be great defensively. I think it's the plate, the approach, learning the pitching here in America. And I'm excited because opening game is Tuesday here for Oklahoma City here, our first home game.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to make that. I know I work Wednesday, so I'm excited to see him in person and to see what he looks like. But I think the future is really bright with him.
100%. And also, he just needs to get bigger and stronger. I mean, he's not a big dude. When you look at him and you see him, you're like, not a big dude. So you're probably going to add quite a bit of strength as we go. So I'll make this statement before we move on about from Hae-Sung Kim. The Dodgers didn't miss on this guy. They absolutely did not miss on this guy. Now, is he plug and play like you talk about all the time, like Dodgers fans, if you're the number one prospect, well, by God, you ought to be able to plug in right now and be a great major. Is he that? No. But did the Dodgers miss on this guy? Absolutely not. Is there anything, do you agree with what I'm saying there?
No, I think when the Dodgers make these big splash signings with these kids, I think we immediately expect them to be up. Yeah. I think this one was let's relax a little bit. Let's let him get some experience. I think this one is a really good future for us. And man, I think I'm excited to watch him this week. Get to see him in person. So I'll have a lot more to say once I get to watch him in person. But no, this was not a miss at all. I think this was a complete home run for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Agreed. Even if it takes longer than Dodgers fans want to be patient for, because Dodgers fans have no patience, and that's a great thing. That means that you're expecting greatness at all times, and everybody needs those standards. I don't mean that to be in any negative kind of way. Hey, let me say this too, and I love the prospects, and when the Dodgers went and got Michael Conforto, that made it hard on the prospects to make a lineup. So that's a weird position for guys like us who are around these guys, who love these guys, that want to see these guys get their chances. It's kind of a weird position because we're obviously Dodgers fans before anything and everything. I say that and I preface that and I give that as a background to say I love Michael Conforto. His swing is so sweet. It's just so easy. With the talent around him, you've said it many times, Coach, he doesn't have to be the dude. He can just relax and do what he does. His splits are pretty even between right and left. I want to see Michael Conforto in the lineup every day. I don't want to see a platoon with him. I want him to be an everyday player.
Yeah, I don't see him being a platoon right now. I mean, they signed him for 1 year, $17 million. That's at least what I looked up. So hopefully that's correct. But
yeah, it is.
I don't see them platooning him. I think this is one of those Dodgers signings where they saw something. They might have fixed a few things. I know he was terrible at home for San Francisco, great on the road. He's going to be – I like him as our left fielder. I don't see who you're going to platoon him with. Chris Taylor. Kike's – I think Kike might platoon with Pages, right, in center. That would be the more realistic thing. But, yeah, Conforto, you hit the nail on the head, dude. He's like a really straight – he's a professional hitter.
He is.
And once he settles in, again, one of those guys – let's see what he looks like in 15 games. I mean, it's his first 3 games in Dodger Stadium. Settle in. Let's see what we look like. Atlanta's coming in here on Monday. So I think Conforto is going to be an everyday left fielder for us.
I do too. So let me kind of give you an example of how this team just finds ways to win because it's so talented. Coach Holt and I went over the first game quite a bit, but the Dodgers got 7 hits last night, struck out 9 times, walked just 3 times. So only 7 hits, 9 Ks, only 3 walks, still scored 7 runs. Okay? So only 7 hits, struck out 9 times, walked just 3 times, and got a start from a starting pitcher that only went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 2 runs. You back that up with 2 rookies, and you beat a playoff team in the Detroit Tigers still, even with that being the case. How do you beat this team? I mean, that's literally the game you have to beat them in if you're going to. Same with game 1. Blake Snell's not great. That Dodgers don't get a lot of hits, that kind of thing. If you can't beat the Dodgers in that game, how are you going to ever beat them?
You've got to put up, 6, 7 runs.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really, I never get worried about what the Dodgers do in the first 5. The Dodgers wear you down.
They do.
With their plate appearances. They wear you down every single at bat. You've got to put up runs against them because we're freaking about Hiroki. He gave up 2 runs.
Yeah.
2. Only 2.
Yeah.
Dodgers are going to score 5, 6, 7 runs a game, so you got to get up 8, 9, in my opinion. Now, baseball's different. It's 162 games. There's going to be times where the Dodgers are tired, didn't get great sleep, long travel. Things just don't go well. I mean, it's baseball. I mean, to see the Dodgers win 111 games would be outstanding, right? And that still is losing, 50?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, if you do the math on that, so Dodgers are going to lose games. But can you consistently beat the Dodgers? I don't see the Dodgers having these 4 to 7 game losing streaks.
Yeah.
I can see the Dodgers rattling off 8, 9, 10 games, lose a couple, rattle off 5, 6 in a row. You've got to score runs, and you've almost got to play perfectly. And, man, if you don't have your top 3 starters going in the series, you're in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah, even if you do. We saw that with Tarek Skubal. And, okay, Will Smith, I asked Coach Holt this, and I wanted to ask another coach's perspective. He's hitting over 400. That's no surprise. He always hits well early in the season. Hit the cement mixer for a home run the other day. He always hits well in the first half of the season, and he always wears down the second half of the season and doesn't hit well second half. Didn't hit well in the postseason last year. So as a coach, map out his workload for me. What would you do if they said, Coach Barikoff, you've seen this guy, map out his workload to make him as valuable to us as he possibly can be all the way through the playoffs? What would that look like?
That's a tough one because you could always say, man, it would be nice to use him as a DH here and there, but Shohei's your DH. Here's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Barnesy used a little bit more.
Yes.
You could give me all the arguments about he doesn't hit, but he's phenomenal behind the plate and he handles the pitchers really well. So I would be okay this year giving Will a little bit more days off and letting Barnesy get there behind the plate a little bit more and see if you could maybe save Will Smith's legs. And he's already dealing with the ankle injury, right? That's still lingering from last season into spring training. He's phenomenal before the first half of the season. He's an all-star now. Catchers wear down. It's not like, Mike Scioscia and, using Dodger references, Mike Scioscia and Steve Yeager, right?
Yeah.
Baseball's just different now. And I would like to see Barnesy used a little bit more. And that might go against what Dodger fans want, but that's just my opinion. And to give Will a little bit more days off here and there, especially with the lineup that we have, you could sit Barnes in the 9-hole, the 8-hole, and you're okay.
Yeah, so just catch him with pitchers that have a lot of good swing and miss stuffs because even if they steal bases, first of all, it's hard to get on base to begin with. And then even if they get into scoring position, you have a guy that can strike out the next couple hitters, and it's not as big of a deal versus a guy that gives up contact. So kind of the map here is, let's say Barnesy plays in 62 games. That puts 100 for Will Smith. And let's say the Dodgers win exactly half of those games. That means they lost 31 of them. And then let's say Will Smith Dodgers win 70% of the games he plays in, which they've done. That puts you at 99, 100 wins instead of 110, but you still win the division. So, instead of trying to win the most amount of games this is going to sound counterintuitive. Instead of trying to win the most amount of regular season games you can, try to win the most amount of games that you can while maximizing everybody's their availability as the season goes on. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and it's like you've got Will Smith, and you sometimes you just want to use him every single day because he's an all-star catcher. He's one of the best catchers in baseball. But I think now, I think you've just got to play this thing smart with him. He's already got the ankle thing he's dealing with, and that might not ever. I mean, as a catcher, how do you get your ankle right? Unless you sit 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, and I don't see the Dodgers doing that, but I have no problem using Austin Barnes behind the plate. I think he's great as a defensive guy. He's great with the pitching staff. He had a career, what did he hit, 260 last year for a backup? I'd take that any day.
Good spring training.
Austin Barnes. Yeah, so it's like I think you want to be careful with Will Smith. I would rather have a fresh Will Smith later in the season than an incredibly awesome Will Smith before the All-Star break. I hope that makes sense, but that's just kind of the way I look at it with Will.
Yeah. So have you had a chance to see these bats that the Yankees have been using?
You know what? One of my assistants, John Roby, is a diehard Yankee fan, and he said, Yankees figured it out. And I said, well, let's see what Major League Baseball does about this. So I don't know. The home runs, there's something like you got to open your eyes up a little bit. Like Major League Baseball's got to at least think about what's going on. Yeah, I mean, they're just crushing the ball.
Yeah, they are. So, great point here by Vin 1988. The 9-hole might be one of the most important hitters in the entire lineup for the Dodgers. You know why? Because if the 9-hole gets on, guess who comes up?
Yep, Shohei.
So the 9-hole needs to be getting on. We love Andy Pages, but he's striking out too much. Of course, small sample window, but you got to say that, right? What do you think?
I think it'll be interesting to see what Kike gets done with this flu situation, like what they do with Pages and Kike. Because then you could also move Edman to center and Kike into the infield. I'm always going to say I'm always the biggest Andy Pages fan out there, but he is striking out a little bit more than I would like. And I know he looks really comfortable at the plate. And you listen to the Dodgers announcers talk about that he looks more relaxed, more confident, but he is striking out. And if you're going to put him at the 9 spot, he's got to turn that lineup over to get to Shohei. So I'm interested to see what Dave does when Kike gets done with this flu situation, especially with Atlanta coming in. That's my take on it, because you can always move Edman to center, move Kike into the middle of the infield. So let's see what happens. But, I'd like to see Pages not strike out.
CNAB, my man, is in the house tonight. Sandman Logic, Ala Minerva, Yvette Wilkins, Ela Shiva Jones. We have just a great crowd. Leon is in the house as well, and several more. Vin 1988. So, Coach, we have a great crowd. I always talk about it. You've heard the couple comments from the crowd so far. Elite baseball talk at Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers. It does not get any better, does it?
This is I wish more of these people would follow me on Twitter so I can find out who all these people are and have great discussions. But every time I come in here, phenomenal questions. It's high-end baseball. It makes me think. It's exciting to come on the show to hear what their questions are. And it's good to know that there are some true, realistic Dodger fans out there.
So it's one thing to be talented. Coach, that relay the other night that saved the game for the Dodgers. So first of all, Teo went and got it. And you're taught, one thing you don't have in baseball is time, because every play is like inches. Yeah. So every split second that you waste time, that's putting you at a disadvantage. So you're taught as a fielder to turn to your glove, spin to your glove. Teo picks the ball, spins to his glove. Then the relay guy, Tommy Edman, he gives ground to get a great hop. So he judged the hop, backed up, gave ground to get the perfect hop. Why is that important? Because the cleaner you field the ball, the faster you get it out of your glove and to your next target. And while he was doing that, judging his hop, getting the big hop, he was turning his shoulder to the catcher, so when he threw it, he didn't have to field the ball, then turn, then throw. All he had to do was field the ball and throw, because he was already had his shoulders pointed to the catcher. It's one thing to be talented. It's another to be as fundamental as that play was. Not just the fact that you played catch, but just the way the whole thing, mechanics of it set up. And then Austin Barnes, I mean, my God, what a tag, right? That was an impressive play across the board.
Yeah, and Margot, him coming around 30, he took that little weird step and kind of stumbled, which helped.
Yes.
But I mean, from the get-go, the relay in, the tag, it was like it looked like October baseball there, to be honest with you, not the fifth game of the season. And it showed me that Teo is good for right field, right? Like you there was always some concerns. Can he handle the right field? He's got an arm, Edmonds and Barnes tag, and that's why I never worry about Barnes behind the plate. So, I mean, the tag was incredible.
Yeah.
And seeing the replays on social media, the slowing down of him hitting the backside of Margot was awesome, right?
Yeah.
Game saver. Now, I know it's early, but it's like Dodgers are undefeated right now. There'd be a loss on there maybe if they didn't make that play, and things would have changed. Momentum. Incredible. You talked about it from a baseball perspective, Casey. From a fan perspective, it was like I was high-fiving my wife.
Yeah.
We're like, did you see that play?
Yeah, look
but
at that.
It was awesome, and it was goosebumps. Like in game, like in the first 5 games, we already had goosebumps.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Ela Shiva says that she follows you on Twitter, by the way. So
Okay,
you might
let's
give her a shout out next time. Couple more topics we have here, then we're going to get to our down the farm. Don't forget, we have the Bobby Miller outing. We have 2 hits from Alex Freeland from each side of the plate. We have fielding of him at third base. I have video of Hae-Sung Kim from the first workout at AAA Oklahoma City. We have all sorts of stuff. Huge down the farm segment tonight, so please stay tuned for that. But while I got Coach Barakoff on the horn, a couple of more topics. One is there was no doubt Mookie Betts was going to come through. You didn't know it was going to be a home run, but you knew the run was going to score. So that part of it was anticlimactic for me. But for him to hit 2 home runs after losing, 15, 20 pounds, however much he lost. And then also another part of this that's very underrated is the fact the Dodgers are so smart. They gave him Saturday off. And they did that because then they don't play on Sunday. That gave his body 48 hours to rest. This club does not miss a thing. They don't leave any stone unturned.
No, I shouldn't say I was not surprised. I can't be surprised anymore by what Mookie Betts does. I mean, the guy is incredible.
He is.
But listening to, like, I know you talked about it, listening to Dino Ebel during the Freeway Series, and then listening to the pregame talk and Rick Monday and these guys, the Dodgers, they always talk about the Dodgers this, the Dodgers that, but the Dodgers go to the farthest extent to make sure everything is done exactly the right way. And to having a weird, like Oral Hershiser said, he doesn't think he's ever had a Sunday off in his baseball career. He talked about that last night. Having a Sunday off, resting Mookie on a Saturday, and then a Sunday off, getting ready for the Braves series. Genius.
Yeah.
Not that maybe all of us in the group chat or right now probably wouldn't have made that move, but the Dodgers are always looking ahead, and it's these little things that make the Dodgers go. And yes, how hard would it be to sit Mookie Betts on it, a chance to get a sweep
after he hits a walk-off 2 home runs?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's hot, but like you got to. It's a marathon. It's 162 games, and these little things help. And again, I listened to Mookie on a podcast with Matt Barnes, and he talked about baseball. People don't understand how tiring that this whole season is. Dealing with family, dealing with road trips, dealing with late nights, highs, the emotions, in a slump and not in a slump. It had to be incredible for Mookie after going what he's gone through and not eating and finally being able to get a day off, knowing he's going to be rested for Monday. Mm-hmm. Dodgers go to no ends to make sure that they are the best team in baseball, and I thought it was a genius move.
And not only that, they told him that like a week ago. Yeah. Hey, we're going to play these games, and then you're going to get to sit out. Yeah. So he knew that he could give max effort on Friday, knowing he was going to have 2 days off. He didn't have to conserve energy, and I think that also went into him being so good. So last topic here, you hit on it earlier, Kirby Yates. The dude's flipping it up there 93 miles an hour, and he's like, major league hitters can't hit him. Of course, the splitter has that fade, and it profiles as a changeup. Nasty. But I'll say this. With all the high-riding four-seam fastballs where guys are just rearing back and trying to blow snot, right? It's just really fun to watch an old dude go out there flipping at 93 at the bottom of the zone and turning the ball and using change of speeds and movement and the bottom of the zone to get major league hitters out. Maybe that's the get off my lawn old guy in me saying that, but that just warms my heart watching Kirby Yates pitch.
I'm with you. I mean, he wanted to come a chance to win a ring, right?
He did. Love it.
He looks like a guy that understands, like, I have a Christmas morning every time I get to go out on the mound for the Dodgers. Now, I'm not saying Texas wasn't good. Like, he's been on some good things. Like, he was with the Padres. He's got to feel like he's in heaven now. I mean, listening to the story about how he developed some of his pitches, but he looks really good, and he just places the ball so perfectly. And, yeah, he's not pumping at 98, 99. He looks really, really good, and I'm glad he's on our team. And, again, they talk about the Dodgers being the evil empire and all this stuff. You know what? Anybody could have gone and got Kirby Yates.
Yep.
Anybody could have got him, but the Dodgers went and made a smart business decision, and they got a guy. And what an incredible move for him, at least here early on in the season. And I think this guy is raring to go to get a championship.
I lied. I do this all the time. I said that was my last topic. One last quick one here. I wanted to give a shout out of appreciation to Jack Flaherty. He was on the opposing team this weekend. Without that dude, I seriously don't think the Dodgers win a world championship last night. So I hope every single Dodgers fans has the correct amount of appreciation, even now that he's an opponent. Although it's in the American League, that makes it a little bit easier to not root against the guy. But I wanted to make sure we give the proper amount of appreciation to Jack Flaherty. Where are you at on that?
Oh, well, 100%.
Yeah.
I saw one thing. I saw a social media post with him in the outfield watching the ring ceremony, and I told my wife, Stacy, I'm like, oh, my gosh, he must have been just like, I want to be a part of that. And two, when they gave him his ring, you could tell how much he was admired and respected by the Dodgers, the way they acted, the way they gave him hugs. When he was on the mound, the smiles that Max Muncy gave him, the Freddie Freeman, the Dodger crowd gave him a standing ovation. Hometown guy pitching for the Dodgers last year. He got a ring. Like, I don't know what the business decision was not to bring him back or why he didn't come back, but that guy is going to be remembered for a long time, forever, with that run the Dodgers made last year. And I thought it was awesome that he got to get his ring in front of the Dodger fans. And you're right. Without him, I don't know where we'd be.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'd be pressing because we'd be like, well, we still got to win that one, you know? I mean, it'd be one of those situations. Now we're relaxed, and we're like, oh, we're going to win 4 or 5, no big deal, right? So, I mean, it's just a lot better situation now.
Exactly.
Hey, Coach, any final thoughts, man? I appreciate you joining. I know you've been hooked up on who's in the Final Four, man? I ain't even been following it.
So what is it? It's Auburn versus Florida, and then Duke versus Houston. So I think it's a great Final Four if you're a basketball fan. I think there's 2 SEC teams, a ACC, and a Big 12. So, I mean, it covers all the bases. But, no, my take with the Dodgers is, I mean, what an awesome 5 games we've had.
Yes.
There's going to be highs and lows with this team, but I think every series is going to be exciting. They're the defending world champions. They're the evil empire now. I'm excited for the Braves to come in. That's a big-time team. I've got them on right now. They're down 2-0 to the Padres right now, but the National League West, Casey, is going to be tough. It's going to be a very tough season. Yep. Baseball is really in a good spot right now, and let's go Dodgers, and let's keep this up.
Hey, don't forget, before I let Coach Barrakoff off the horn here, don't forget we're getting ready to get into our Down the Farm segment. Bobby Miller, Alex Freeland, Hae-Sung Kim, all sorts of great stuff. So, Coach Barrakoff, thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys. Later.
Let's not waste more time. Let's take a trip down the farm. Welcome to Dodgers Daily Down on the Farm. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. First on Prospect Talk, who you're seeing there is Hae-Sung Kim, who is with AAA Oklahoma City. This is from Media Day on Wednesday. Actually, it's not necessarily Media Day. It's the first workout for AAA Oklahoma City. That's Alex Friedman talking to Hae-Sung Kim and confirming exactly how to say his name right there. What a polite young man. You're getting ready to see a lot of defense from him from that day. So he got his first base hit today on Saturday night on a double and a triple. We'll show you that too, but I wanted to show you some of the defense that we had of him. Here's him in the center field, just kind of taking some ground balls, some fly balls and ground balls out in center field there. Let me fast forward this. This is him doing some infield work, and I'll tell you this. I told you on the show, the live show the other night, watch the transfer right there. See, in the glove and out of the glove, and just effortless, good arm action, good throw. And I'm just telling you, the transition from field to throw and then combine that with the amount of velocity that he's able to put on the ball, Super, super impressive. But right there, see that backhand transition, and then you didn't get to see the whole throw, but see that transition there? There's some RPMs behind that throw too. So he's quick to the ball. See how quick that, look how many steps. Let me back that up just a little bit. And look how many steps he actually took away from the throw here. Watch this. See how quick that is? And now he just cut down about 15 feet on that throw there. So Hae-Sung Kim, good look at him in terms of the workout that he had, first workout. And then here's his first hit for AAA Oklahoma City. He likes that pitch down and in. It kind of fits that tilted bat angle that he swings with. Very quiet swing. So he had a double here, and he also had a triple against Sugar Land as well. So Hae-Sung Kim right there down the line. See, that's down and in again. He likes that down and in pitch, and so a lot of good work from Hae-Sung Kim down on the farm for AAA Oklahoma City. It'll be interesting to see how quickly his offensive game translates, because I think that's pretty much it in terms of Bobby Miller had a good outing for AAA Oklahoma City on Sunday. In fact, a very good outing. The thing that he did, and I've been saying this for quite a while for him, is that he just needs to reduce his pitch mix. Now, he did feature 5 different pitches, so in terms of overall pitches, he did throw 5, but the 2 main pitches he threw, I've said this for a long time, he has 2 different fastballs. He has the 4-seam and the 2-seam. So pick whichever one it is. I prefer 2 or 3 miles an hour or lower with added movement and certainly more strikes, which is what he did today. He chose a sinker today. As a matter of fact, his 4-seam got hit pretty hard, and his 4-seam was the pitch that he threw the 3rd most, not even the 2nd most. So he squarely chose his 2-seam over his 4-seam, and his 2-seam just absolutely did not get hit whatsoever. Then he chose his curveball as his secondary. So one of your fastballs, one of your secondary, make those your 2 main pitches that you build the rest of your arsenal around. That's what Yoshinobu Yamamoto did last year to simplify things. And then you can sprinkle in 9 changeups like he did in his outing today, in his 4 2/3 innings that he threw. You can sprinkle in 9 changeups, of which he did. 5 of them were strikes, and then you can throw the occasional 4-seam up in the zone, which today his 4-seam got hit pretty hard. So, okay. So he threw his sinker 99.6. It touched 99.6. It sat 97. We know he can hit 101 or whatever, but the spin was over 2,500. Great movement, and because he was, he's in that, I think he's better off in that zone because he was able to throw that sinker in the zone 57% of the time. So when you're talking about sitting 97, touching almost 100, spin rate 2,500, great late life, and you're in the zone 57% of the time, that is a centerpiece fastball that Bobby Miller was throwing today for his 2-seam. Curveball main secondary, and that's a very good pitch because it has a lot of downward tilt. And then his changeup, he threw a lot of nice strikes with whenever he did throw it. So I think he simplified things. It was a centerpiece 2-seam curveball, and then occasional changeup with some 4-seams to ride the top of the zone just to make the 2-seam and the curveball play a little better. Because if you throw that 4-seam at the top of the zone, then that one right there, then you can tunnel that big 12-6 curveball off of that. So that one there. So you got to throw some 4-seams at the top of the zone just to make that curveball more effective. But then you throw the 2-seam at your meat and potatoes at 97 miles an hour with good movement to get both swing and miss and soft contact, of which he got. And he only had 4 strikeouts today. So I think, although the only 4 strikeouts, I think the 2-seam that he threw almost 60% of the time in the zone, sat 97, got soft contact with the good curveball that he was tunneling off the occasional 4-seam, and then just spotting up some changeups every now and then. I think that outing today for Bobby Miller is the blueprint for him to be the best version of himself. And what you saw today were no runs, 4 2/3 innings, and only 2 hits. So great start to 2025 for Bobby Miller. Here's Alex Freeland at the first workout for AAA Oklahoma City. Some open look batting practice for him. Alex Freeland had a super, super impressive game on Saturday night for AAA Oklahoma City. So he played shortstop on Friday. He played third base on Sunday. And if you go to my social medias, you can listen to the Sugarland broadcasters, and they talk about how good of an athlete he is, how good of an arm he is, and just how good he plays both shortstop and third base defensively. And we know about the hit tool. His WRC pluses are well above league average, like in the 130s for the most part. 2023 is a little bit of a down year. 2022 in his short season, huge WRC plus. Last year, I believe his WRC plus was about 135. His strikeout rate last year was down to 21%. Walk rate up to 14%. So good for Alex Freeland. Here's his hits from both sides of the plate, from left side right there. You can see him using the opposite field gap. Good to see him do that right there. And then you're going to see a hit right-handed. So this weekend, what you got to see out of Alex Freeland, you got to see base hits from both sides of the plate, and you got to see him play very, very good defense from both sides, from both third base and shortstop. So a good weekend on his part for Alex Freeland, getting to show off all of his different skills. And you talk about a young man that has skills. Here is Dalton Rushing taking BP on the first workout. James Outman, you can see Hunter Fiducia in the background. This is Dalton Rushing. I can just tell you, he's working on balls in the center. I talk about all the time. First 3 to 4, maybe sometimes 5 rounds, hitters will be working on a specific art in terms of hitting. They'll be working on a specific tool. You can see right here, Dalton Rushing's trying to work the left center field gap just to get into his BP. And then after about 3 or 4 rounds, then it's just kind of let it loose and just hit the ball as hard and as far as you want. But right here, you can see very disciplined round for Dalton Rushing, hitting the ball the other way. And I will say this, there's Haesung Kim in the background. He was in their hitting group with James Alvin and Hunter Fiducia. That one right there, that ball just sounds different. That's why I followed it with the camera. I'm telling you, that ball off the bat right there is just different. And Dalton Rushing hit a home run this weekend, and what I want to show you is look at that hitting position. Let me back that up. See how, remember that round that he was hitting to left center? That's exactly where he's trying to hit this ball right here. You can see right there, he is set up trying to hit that ball to left center. That keeps hitters on the ball, that opposite field gap that Coach Holt talks about all the time. But because his hands are so strong and because his barrel and his hands are so quick, watch what happens as he hits the ball. Boom. He's able to actually whip the barrel out on it, although he's trying to, in my opinion, just from what you saw, trying to actually do what he did in batting practice the other day and pepper the left center field gap. Because his hands are so quick and so strong, he's actually able to whip the barrel out on it and hit a home run. And that was the first home run of the season for Dalton Rushing, which was super exciting. And so Dalton Rushing is set up to have a very big year. Him and Hunter Fiducia, who's off to another really good start, sharing duty behind home plate, as well as Chris Oakey, who had a couple of hits today on Sunday. Here's Ryan Ward, a young man that point blank, he is in a position to where things are out of his control. I mean, what the Dodgers needed was a right-handed hitting center fielder. That's why Andy Pages got the nod as far as that goes. And he is a left-handed hitting corner outfielder. And so just really there's no opportunity. You got Michael Conforto, you got Teo Hernandez, and then you have the right-hander and Andy Pages, who's already up there. And so there's just no opportunity for Ryan Ward. But that's not to say that if Ryan Ward continues to hit like he always has, he had 2 hits on Saturday against Sugarland. I think Ryan Ward, I told him this on media day, not media day, but the first workout the other day. I told him on 270 and 30 home runs. And he said, hey, man, I'll try really hard to get to that number. But he is totally capable of that. I think Ryan Ward has maybe the best combination of being able to hit home runs. He's in the organization leaderboard, at least, in home runs every year. And then there's been years before he got injured where he was up around 285. I think 270 and 30 home runs is very doable for Ryan Ward. And then here's the other catcher that's catching alongside Dalton Rushing. You see Dalton Rushing there getting ready to take his next round with Hunter Fiducia. But Fiducia in the batter's box there he's just a guy that just continues to hit the ball. He's a guy that had a good spring training. He's a guy who had a good last year, and he's off to another really good start this year. So these are some good looks at the open face of Hunter Fiducia, who is just, like I said, just really good depth in the organization. Another young man that probably in a lot of other organizations would be getting a lot more opportunity than he's getting right now, but it is what he is. And what he has to do is he has to continue to control what he can control. Nick Frosso got the ball first for AAA Oklahoma City on Friday night. Welcome back, Nick Frosso. Lost all of last year to shoulder injury. Picked up right where he left off. He struck out the very first hitter of the game that you saw right there. Only 2 innings, and that's because, again, he's coming off the shoulder surgery, and you don't want to ramp him up too fast. So 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. You can see how he lands on that third base side, so he crossfires. So when he hits that glove side corner like he did a lot Friday night, it's very tough. Fastball was 92 to 94. It will get a lot hotter than that as he gets off the leash and things warm up and the summer goes on. So that 92 to 94, I think, will probably turn into 95, 96, 97 as he goes on. For also 36 pitches, 26 of them are fastballs. So you can see the process there of just trying to stay healthy, getting ramped up in a slow way to get him back to where he was a couple of years ago. Also threw 7 changeups. Good part of that is he didn't throw very many, but he landed 5 of them, and the 1 slider he threw, he landed in the strike zone. Another young man, so that's Nick Frost. Another young man I got to talk to quite a bit, and it was very exciting for me to get to talk to him. Justin Jarvis, this is the young man, if you remember, that took that line drive right back at his head, barely caught it. It was a scary moment for a second. But he was lights out in his debut Friday. 4 2/3 innings. He had the piggyback start off of Nick Frost. So no hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks. Super humble young man. I mean, super humble. Out of North Carolina. 4-pitch mix. So call it starter, call it bulk inning, long reliever, whatever you want. Another one of those guys that can give you distance, as you saw with 4 2/3 innings. 4 pitches, and so 94, 95 on the fastball, which isn't bad, especially this time of year. Splitter, which is good. So if you can get that 94, 95 with a splitter and then a cutter and a change that he has, that's a pretty good pitch mix. Again, Justin Jarvis finished last year with Syracuse, the Mets. He shifted time last year between AA and AAA. And so starting this year in AAA Oklahoma City, Justin Jarvis, there's a good look at him. And as we go on, we'll get to know him a little bit better because this was the first time I had ever gotten to see him pitch in a real game that was not spring training because he came over to the Dodgers just this year. And then Jack Little, a young man that just keeps going. I had a comment on one of my social media posts from one of his former teammates about how good of a dude he is and about just how really good and how really good he's always been and how they were glad to see him get his chance. And the comment was he had the whys. Now the whys, I'll say it. They didn't say it because baseball players don't say the term. Apparently he had the yips when he was in his earlier part of his career, overcame those, of which you know if anybody has been around somebody who's had those, that doesn't always happen. So Jack Little, a good fastball slider, and just a guy that really just kind of makes the game boring, just goes out, does what he's supposed to, walks off the mound like he's done it before. And those are the kind of guys I like because they act like those are the kind of guys, in my opinion, that expect to have success. My click to pick for 2025, if you have been watching Dodgers Dawgs over the offseason, is this young man, Carlos Duran. 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. He hit 97.2. That's big because usually he tops out about 96. And the big part of that is he sat 95 and his spin was over that 2,300. That's kind of that magic mark. And he's 6'7", so that slider is the centerpiece. That one there is a big time pitch because of the angles it creates with the amount of length he has. And so keep an eye on Carlos Duran. He got healthy last year. They ramped him up very slowly. Somewhat of mixed results. Pretty good, to be honest with you. Really a lot better good than there was not good to end last year, but a slow ramp up. This year, I think he's going to be let off the leash, and I am super excited about it. So keep your eye on Carlos Duran, who had a very, very good first outing. If you need to know how high the Dodgers are on him, just know he was the second-day starter with all of the talent that this Oklahoma City pitching staff has. And Ryan Sublette, hey, a side slaughter. I've been telling you that nobody hits this guy. Nobody barrels him up. I mean, it's soft contact after soft contact. And when he's in the zone, he gets outs. 95-mile-an-hour sinker that has subtle, tight, late movement. That's very hard for hitters to pick up. It just looks like his ball explodes. For an example, exit velo Saturday night when he pitched, 81.4. And that's pretty typical. And then on his sliders he threw, he had a 50% whiff rate. So see that one right there? So on his secondaries that he throws, he gets good swing and miss. See there? But then on his fastball, he gets a lot of soft contact. So Ryan Sublette, get the ball in the strike zone, and he is a very talented young man. Unique, too. He brings a lot of unique values to the mound. So super excited to see how 2025 works out for Ryan Sublette. And our next guy that we're going to cover here, another young man the Dodgers had in 2021, had a great year for the Dodgers, got picked up in the Rule 5 by the Pittsburgh Pirates, pitched about 30 some odd innings. Don't exactly quote me on that. It just didn't work out. I mean, he didn't like the developmental system. He lost his confidence, eventually got DFA'd. As soon as he got DFA'd, the Dodgers traded for him. This was last year. They put him on the development list. They went to work on working on mechanics, pitch mix, got him the same type of pitch setup that he had when he was with the Dodgers the first time. Mixed results last year. He's had an entire offseason to gain confidence back with the Dodgers. So I think this year will be a good year for Jose Hernandez. We will see. But talented young man who in the past has reached as high, at least that I've seen, in a game of 99. And that's pretty good from the left side. So Sam Carlson, another young man who really came on the scene in spring training. Hey, 93, 94, nothing impressive. But what you need to understand is lots of spin on that 93, 94. We talked about Ryan Sublette exploding towards that last couple of feet. That ball for Sam Carlson, although it's only 93, 94, it's deceptive because he hides the ball, but then it moves so late and it's so tight and so subtle. It just looks like see that hitters, it's like that ball's on them before they can really, it's just like they can't pick up on it because that ball explodes. Slider, sharp break. So his whiff rate on the sinker, only 93, 94. See right there? The hitter's behind that. That's 94 miles an hour. That's 93 miles an hour, whatever it may be. 75% whiff rate because of that deception, because of the perceived velocity deception. 67% whiff rate on that pitch is slider. Average exit velo, just 83.8. So very excited about Sam Carlson and just coming over to the Dodgers. I just think it's going to be a great marriage. His talent, he was a big deal several years ago, as for whatever reason, injury or whatever it may be, hasn't quite hit his stride yet as a pro. I think he's getting ready to as a Dodger. And just know Eddie Rosario is stroking for AAA Oklahoma City. I don't think he's going to be in AAA Oklahoma City for long. He definitely won't be if he continues to hit the way that he is hitting right now. Saturday, he had 3 hits, all different fields. I mean, he had hits to right field. He had hits to left field. He had hits off of changeups, off of curveballs, off of fastballs. This dude can hit. Professional hitter Eddie Rosario in AAA Oklahoma City because of the depth. Keep an eye on him. We'll see how long he stays in Oklahoma City. So that's Dodgers Daily Down the Farm. I want to thank you for tuning in. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.